Good morning, fellow investors. Today I wanted to quickly go over the ETF commonly known as JEPI, or the JP Morgan Equity Premium Income ETF. That is a mouthful, no wonder they call it JEPI. So an ETF, for those who don't know, is an exchange-traded fund. These are not too dissimilar to the mutual funds you might get through a traditional financial advisor or 401k plan or whatever. The difference mainly being ETFs are sort of out on the open market with often much lower expense ratios and that kind of thing. But they do pool money to buy usually pretty broad holdings and follow a specific strategy implemented by whomever is managing the fund. So because JEPI is an income ETF, they focus on these monthly dividends that they pay out. So the amounts are frequent, just like Undertaker's wins at WrestleMania, but not consistent in the amount. They are variable. The reason for that is that they deploy out of the money call options in order to generate this income. And call options are heavily affected by volatility in the market. So if things are more volatile, less volatile, whatever, the price of that they can collect for that premium moves up and down. So your monthly distribution moves up and down. Makes sense, right? So they also put a heavier weight on defensive equities. So defensive equities are, best way to put it, things like consumer staples, right? Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, Hershey, and in other sectors, in pharmaceuticals, something like AbbVie, that's just a big, consistent pharmaceutical company, dividend paying. An insurance company like Progressive, an insurance company like Travelers. UPS, Texas Instruments, right? Comcast. It doesn't really get much more defensive than that. Defensive almost might as well be another word for boring, right? But it also means that it has a tendency to retain value in a lot of different market conditions. So the reason that's important is because there are other covered call ETFs to choose from that are income focused as well. Now, the difference though is, all right, and this is QYLD, another popular one for comparison. It sells covered calls on NASDAQ 100. So as you can see from the chart since inception, it's not doing too great a job of holding value, right? Now, if you remember what JEPI's income was, this is similar, okay? But look at the way this thing has held value. In fact, for a while, it was even appreciating in terms of price. But certainly, this is a much better result than what you would have gotten with the competitor. Now, also worth pointing out, mutual fund might be 1%, 1.5%, maybe 2%, 0.35% expense ratio. So when it comes to income-focused ETFs, I think you could do a lot worse than JEPI. And I think, time these are relatively new, these covered call ETFs, but I think time is starting to show that JEPI's more defensive, conservative strategy is a little bit better in the long term for this type of fund. So tell me what you think about JEPI below. Give me that like, Give me that sub. Get me to 100. I really appreciate you. Take care and peace.